All right, AOA podcast. We are back for another episode. The most handsome man in podcasting is here, Frankie C. What up, big dog?
What's happening?
We're talking about Madeleine McCann. Your wife had quite the episode.
She did, yeah. She filled in for us. That was a great show. She did a great job. I think it's Madeleine McCann, and did you spell it right? I don't know.
Who cares? Don't correct me. Joe Rogan in hot water again. This time with our Jewish brethren and sisterin. We'll talk about that. Speaking of hot water, Prince Andrew always in hot water. Is he on his way out? We'll get into
out
that. How? Tease, my friend.
All right.
The billionaire suicide. It's very, very sad news. Also equally as sad, DJ Donnie Trump's down in Mar-a-Lago. He's lighting it up on the ones and twos.
I can't.
Alec Baldwin's lost his mind. Joe Exotic might be losing his battle with cancer. Rihanna's FCC complaints. I was at a podcast conference today. I'll share some stories of that. And JSabs, I think, checking in from Minnesota.
Interesting. I hope she better be at the biggest bowl of twine.
We'll see. You're like
That's the place to go.
You're the prototypical uncle. Like, you sell these things like they're the greatest thing ever.
No, but if you're going to Minnesota,
gotta get to that ball of twine. I'm hearing.
You gotta get to that ball of twine. You gotta visit the ball of twine.
Frank, we have a Madeleine McCann expert, and it's not you. It's your lovely wife. Why she's with you, I have no idea, but I'm happy she's with us right now. What up, Erin?
Hi, guys. How you doing?
You did a wonderful job on Wednesday.
No, thank you.
That was a. By the way, I think you have a true crime podcast future ahead of you.
Ooh.
She just had this wonderful, like, sitting there, like, relaxed, like, let me tell you about the missing Madeleine McCann story. It was very lovely. I could listen to it over and over again.
Look at that.
Yeah, I thought you did a great job. Thank you so much for chiming in and bringing us this story, which is quite lovely. So if anybody missed it, you can catch up with that. But Erin, give me the 30-second recap of that episode so everybody can be caught up and we can give them the latest news on young Madeleine's missing case here.
The 30-second recap is that in 2007, her family went to Portugal with some other families as a group vacation, 7 adults, 8 children. And one night, while her parents were at a restaurant across the way, where they could keep an eye on the apartment where they were, but I don't know how to explain it, but there was no babysitter. Let's just say that. Madeleine, the mother returned, came outside, said they took Madeleine, and her body has never been found. The child has never been found. No one ever really knew what happened to her. There's been lots of speculation, but there has been no concrete resolution to this mystery. And recently do you want me to go into that too?
Yeah. The young lady from Poland or where was she from?
Yes, she's from Poland. Her name is Julia, I think, Wendell. She is 21 years old. Madeleine McCann would have been 19 right now. She says that her mother has no pictures of her when she was pregnant. She said that she cannot find her birth certificate or any medical records before kindergarten. Her kindergarten teacher said that she joined in the middle of the year. She said that she could speak English. She was speaking English, not Polish. And that there was one a disputed account that she said that she wanted to go back to the big white building, which matches the architecture of the apartment building in Portugal. And finally, she also has an eye defect that Madeleine McCann had, which is very rare. And also she has a dimple in her face that is in the exact same place that Madeleine McCann had it. So even though there is an age difference, who's to say she's not 19? Some people say she doesn't look anything like her. I don't know. I mean, I think she does enough to make it worth pursuing, of course. Still no results on the DNA test that I can find, but the McCanns were reticent, to use a maybe accurate word. They weren't really excited about getting a DNA test for this woman. She was ignored by both Scotland Yard and Polish policemen, so she went to the internet and started this account that said, I am Madeleine McCann, I think on Instagram, maybe Twitter, but I think Instagram. And as a result, got some attention, and now there will be a DNA test, I've heard, but I still haven't heard anything about, I still haven't found any update. Sorry about that.
I'll have an update for you right here. Breaking news. Paul says, I must reveal something. I am Madeleine McCann. So this is very exciting.
Very Spartacus of you, Paul.
Yes. Yes. I'm happy you've come forward, Paul. This is thrilling. We're going to get you in touch with the Polish police and we're going to get down to the bottom. Actually, Erin is going to administer a DNA test to you. So hang on the line.
Yeah.
Paul,
the 23andMe, the 23andMe packet's on its way.
Yeah.
How's that dimple, Paul?
Yeah, we have to see the ID fact and the dimple.
So a couple of things here that I want to react to, especially the episode that Erin did. I have my thoughts on this, and let's face it, I'm probably correct, and I'll share that with you in a second.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the one thing that aggravated the shit out of me was that, and I don't know why this bothered me so much, but that the parents went to a tapas restaurant seemed to really get on my nerves. There's something about tapas that is just
the type of restaurant
and arrogant. Yeah, if they just went to like a taco joint or an Italian place, okay, fine, you're not getting dinner. But there's something about tapas that's like, I don't know, it just takes a long time. It's a slow evening, if you ask me. It's not something that you do when you.
See, I thought the opposite. I thought it's like there's no, well, there are, I guess you could have courses, but you could just get a bunch of plates and be done.
I feel like tapas is an all night, like, oh, let's get some plates, and then you have some drinks, and you're like, let's get some more plates. Oh, this was really good. Let's get another order of that. I feel like tapas is a long night.
Yeah, it could be.
Not like let's get a pizza and then we'll run back across the street to our kids that we've abandoned.
Well, either way, it was messed up no matter what restaurant they went to. That's
true. Yeah, that's very, very true. I say the eye thing is very interesting. The dimple thing is very interesting. Okay. Oh, here's the other thing. This is an Erin critique. Did you really check with Frank's brother on whether or not you could talk about the fact that he looks so shitty today and not as adorable as he looked as a young child?
Of course I checked.
That's horrible. You just blow that guy out of the water. You don't have to check with him ever.
But I did not know who he was in the pictures. That's true.
He does look completely different when he was a kid.
He looks like shit today. He looks terrible. He should be ashamed of himself and his appearance. But that's beside the point.
Either way.
That's not what I said, for those of you who missed my episode.
Well, it was what you were getting at, though, I think.
I said he looks different.
He danced around it.
So here's the update. The Polish police have come out and they've issued a statement to the Gazeta, which is a Polish publication. And they are saying that they are ruling out Faustina's version of events and that they are not true, according to a translation of the outlet's report.
Who's Faustina?
Okay. That's weird. Her last name is Faust. I thought that was her middle name. They have it as Julia Faustino Wendell. So maybe she dropped the Wendell. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. Julia Faustina, who goes by Julia, was Wendell. Yeah, Wendell. Yeah. So she can't even get her names down right. But yes, it's both the same person. Which is not surprising to hear because, right, Erin, you said that she went to the police first, got nowhere, and then took to the internet.
Yeah, and it was strange. I'm not normally, I don't know how to explain it. Frank, how would you say it? Like, I'm not skeptical, but I'm not gullible, but I was hoping it was her. It probably wasn't her, but it was just so interesting considering there were absolutely no leads. Everything went, nobody knew what happened to this.
Yeah.
Well, what I found interesting was, I'm sorry, Frank, was there was a couple of things. You said she washed the kid's toy, which probably had a fair amount of evidence on it. The mother did.
Yeah, twice. And that they asked her like a bunch of questions, like almost 50 questions, and she only answered one of them, right? That's what's strange is that also I remembered it. I was wrong, but I corrected it before. There were a couple of things I got wrong. Your viewers corrected me on them. But one of them that I caught in time was that I thought it was 33 out of 35. It was 48 out of 49 she refused to answer. And the 49th one that she answered was, do you know that by refusing to answer these questions, you may be putting your daughter in jeopardy? And she said yes.
That was the only one she answered.
Yeah,
what's weird to me is that the police let her keep, if it's evidence, the doll. I mean, I get, it might be a mom that's in distress or whatever, but if taking that doll to, if the police take that doll and that helps find the kid, Why wouldn't they take the doll?
I'm
Why wouldn't they
with
just
you.
take
They
it?
treated them with incredible kid gloves. They had a ferocious lawyer coupled with tourism, coupled with what they considered power. It was crazy the way that they treated the McCanns. They, as I said, they were allowed to come in after days. They were allowed to stay together when anybody else would have been separated. They were, it was incredible the things that they let them get away with. You would have thought that they were heads of state.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of strange elements to this now. She said this Julia is going to go for a DNA test.
When is that happening? I mean, how long
They
does
didn't
it take
really
to do it?
say. Yeah, there's nowhere that's saying when or what. But also the mother, her mother, Julia's quote unquote mother, refusing to take the test.
Well,
So
she doesn't
much
have to.
sketch. Ah,
So
She
it's
doesn't have
like,
to. It's if Julia wants to, it's all about Julia. If she takes the test and it matches the mother of Madeleine McCann, then that's that.
right. But also if it matches her mother, that's also that, okay, that's
Yeah, either way.
definitely your mom.
I don't understand what takes so long. How long? If you wanted to do some kind of DNA test, like a Maury test to prove you're not the father or whatever the case is, how long does that take? A day? 24 hours? I don't know. And especially in a criminal case, if it's just a person wanting a DNA test, I could see that maybe taking a little time because it's not priority. But if this has to do with a criminal case, some kind of missing person, you'd think that would be like a priority. Hey, let's get this test done and over with.
Yeah, but here's and that mom not wanting to take the test leads me to think that this kid's not hers, but probably not Madeleine McCann.
Oh,
Despite
yeah,
despite all the similarities, the eye thing, the dimple.
that's a big thing. The eye thing. That's a weird, not weird, but like a unique, very unique eye defect. You don't see in a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I think she does look. I don't think you guys are wrong. Aaron was very like, I think she looks like it. My husband, I think she looks like it. I don't think you had to tiptoe around that. I think she looks like her, but I don't know. I have a sneaking suspicion that this girl, because she doesn't remember a lot of things, is probably. I mean, who knows who the hell she is? She was probably found or adopted. Like you said, her mother doesn't have, there's no pictures of them pregnant. Like, who doesn't have a pregnancy picture?
Right.
It's like this is.
Just because I don't know if anybody, I don't know how many of the people in your community overlap with the true crime community. And I'm not saying that I'm an avid member of the true crime community, but I listen to a lot. Frank will back me up. I used to do it like once a week. Again, that woman, Stephanie Harlow, that I shouted out, she's the one I get most of my stuff from. And what I'm trying to say is that when you listen to so many unsolved mysteries, you kind of get a little, please let this one be solved. Like, that's why I guess I was kind of like that, is because
Right.
I've been listening to this case for a very long time. And wouldn't it be nice to get one where there was a resolution and the resolution wasn't death? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Right.
So many of these end up, we found the body, we found the bones, we found, somebody confessed. And this is not that. So it was sort of me being like, pinning my hopes to this.
Yeah.
Can we show pictures of the?
We can put a picture in the live chat for everybody to take a look of what she looks like. She put a whole, like, she's built an entire Instagram following around this idea that she's her, which I found pretty interesting too, because it's not like every day. In the live chat, I just put out a comment, so if you want to see a picture of Julia, you can. It's not like every day like these things really catch fire. I mean, this has really caught some fire to come to such prominence that she can get some attention on this, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, after how many years? From what, 2007, I think was when
Yeah.
this happened, right?
Which I wonder, is it a lot like what Aaron just said? Is a lot of people like Aaron who's hoping that it's her?
Yeah.
Is it more hope than anything else? Or is it really just she could really possibly be it? I mean, the DNA test is going to tell everything.
Right. Once the DNA, I don't know why. Again, I don't know why that's taken forever. Just, I feel like once she says yes to it, agrees to it, why wouldn't they just do it right? How long does it take? A couple hours, a few hours to run a DNA test? I have no idea.
Well, I think the issue becomes is the McCann family, right? Who I think initially agreed. I don't know if they've backed out of that. Last I heard that they agreed to do the DNA test as well, so they can match up. But I think that's it. It's not just the test; it's the test and then seeing if they match up together. I
would imagine that the investigators have the McCann's DNA on file already from when the case started. They can't, wouldn't it just be a matter of, hey, this is an open investigation. This is part of the evidence. I have a person here who's consented to giving us her DNA. Why can't we just match it up with the evidence and see, why even, it's part of the investigation. You're not doing anything extra with the McCann DNA that you would need. I feel like you're just matching it up. It's already there. I feel like they already probably have it. I would imagine.
What's so weird about this other thing? I'm sorry that I'm kind of going broader into true crime, but it's so strange how every time something happens and things like this, Frank knows about this. It's like when someone goes missing, so many times after someone goes missing in the wilderness, there's a snowstorm. So many times when someone goes missing at a gas station, something happened to the camera, like that had nothing to do with the perpetrator. And like so many times, like it just feels like, of course, this woman has an eye defect. Of course, she's about the same age. Of course, she looks alike. Of course, the mom doesn't want to take a DNA test. Like, it's just strange that this is just one of the many cases where, why is it so strange? I don't know. Just wanted to say that, like, this is nothing new for people. That it's like that the mom doesn't want to take it. The McCanns, don't believe her. It just, but she has the eye defect. It's never like somebody. I don't know.
If it was cut and dry,
yeah,
we probably wouldn't hear about it because it would either get solved or, I feel like if there's a cut and dry camera on the situation, or there's an eyewitness that knows everything, then it's probably way more smoother to do, and it doesn't drag out.
Yeah, DJ Shenanigan hit it here too, Aaron, and it's so true. That eye defect is an extreme rarity. Like, it's so rare to find two people with that eye defect that are blonde, and she went missing, the young girl. This young lady doesn't have a past. There's too many things for it to not be like we need to take a little time to look into this kind of a situation.
Yeah, I mean, if she looked nothing like the kid, if she didn't have the eye defect, she was just some random person that was like 50 years old, they wouldn't bother. But this is pretty close to the description.
By the way, congratulations to DJ Shenanigan on becoming a granddad, baby boy.
Hey, congratulations, DJ.
Yeah, came 4 weeks early, 19-hour labor.
Jeez.
I'm not sure, Frank, but I believe this is our first podcast baby. Is DJ Shenanigan's grandson.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Podcast baby.
Name the boy Jay after JSabs. So that's a really nice thing.
See, I would name the kid Gahed. Gahed Shenanigan.
Gahed Shenanigan. That's good. All right. Aaron, you're now our true crime expert. Are you going to stay on top of this?
I'll stay on top of it, and anything else you need, any other, true crime. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of it. And thanks to all your people who were very kind, both in correcting me and the praise, and even those one or two who didn't really like what I said. Thank you for it, everybody.
Fuck those people.
Yeah, really.
Don't pay attention to those people.
You did a great job.
Thanks, guys. Have a good show.
Yes. Thank you, Aaron. Stay on top of this, not your husband. All right. There we go. Aaron C., everybody. How she sleeps with you is honestly, that's the biggest. I don't know how she does it. I really don't.
Blindfold involved. She has to blindfold herself for that to happen.
All right. Joe Rogan still to come. Let's tackle Prince Andrew. I think things are going to get a lot worse for Prince Andrew. The story kind of leaked yesterday that King Charles wants Prince Andrew out of Windsor Castle. That's where he's been staying and living and laying low. And now the word is he wants him out. And supposedly Prince Andrew said, I'm not leaving.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I feel like it's what the king says kind of goes. No.
Yeah, it's kind of that. And in fact, like I don't know if the royal family's doing all that well financially, because there's been a lot of discussion, you know, back with Meghan and Harry and everything about saving money financially. I mean, there's like 100 of them on the pay. Like, there's an insane amount of people that are on the payroll that are getting paid just for being part of the royal family and are doing next to nothing. You know, I mean, they're just there's so many people on the payroll, and it's them. So it's like the Prince Andrew, it's the royal family member. And then they have like staff of like 17 people to make sure that they're, you know, getting their nose wiped, you know? So there's,
no, I know. Maybe they sell one of those jewels. I don't know. Don't they have like a room full of jewels and properties and all this stuff?
I think so.
Head on down to the pawn shop, see how much you can get for that thing.
Yeah. And I don't know how much the Queen was giving Prince Andrew, but we know now that his annual allowance is 300 grand. So he's getting 300,000 a year.
Just to exist.
Just to exist. And King Charles is reportedly slashing it. Like, he's already said, like, that's going down, which honestly, he should be getting a big fat zero, because he's a fucking pederast. And I don't think the people of the UK want their hard-earned tax dollars going to prop up a fucking pedophile. Like, he should be getting no money. Like, it's one thing to just live there. That's too much, if you ask me. But living there and giving him 300K on top of that is fucking ludicrous.
Yeah, and he has the balls to be like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing what you say, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what he said. They're saying he's talking so crazy, Frank, that he's talking about bringing a lawsuit against Charles, which would be like,
bring it. You know, I feel like if you're Charles, be like, yeah, let's all go to court together and see how you come out.
Right? Do you really want to be sworn in and have to give a fucking testimony here?
Yeah, let's dance.
It's a good point. Yeah, I mean, it would be a catastrophic thing for the royal family if a pedophile accused brother sued the King of England. I mean, that's the height of insanity. But they're saying that Andrew is like, first of all, they always said that Andrew hated Charles. There was always that jealousy there that Charles was going to be the guy, and he was nothing. But now they're saying like he's buckling in, because the only other thing that he actually has to his name is this like ski chalet, and supposedly he's trying to sell that because he can't support it. Like, even if he went to go live there on 300K, couldn't make it work.
Right.
So
ski chalet.
Yeah, this is a guy.
I'm sure they're all hard up for money.
We're gonna do
a ski chalet. You're probably doing fine.
Yeah, I know, but those things are expensive. You know, you can't. So you got to pay taxes.
Now you're back to in the red or in the black. I mean,
it's true. Yeah, that's true. We're going to tell you the story about this billionaire.
Do they pay taxes?
You know, that's
Does
a great
the royal
question.
family pay taxes? I doubt it, because it goes right to them anyway. Or maybe they do. I have no idea.
I don't know.
The president has to pay taxes.
The president does have to pay taxes. Yeah,
but I don't know.
Well, not all the presidents.
I don't know.
But we're gonna do a story about a billionaire who just offed himself right here in the city.
Great,
which is which is creepy and scary.
That's what all these downer topics.
But that's where that's kind of how this Prince Andrew thing should go. He's not fucking helping anybody. They say he just stays on property, rides the horses, and watches TVs, and then like he still like visits with his kids and stuff. But I don't know who the fuck. Like, I mean, I wouldn't want that guy around my kids, you know? I don't think that's a good...
Of course not.
You know?
Around anybody.
Yeah. Anyway.
Kids.
Joe Rogan, before we get to this controversy with Joe Rogan and the Jewish people, become a member of our podcast. You can support right now for as low as $2.99 a month. Link to join is down in the description below. Also, we've got a link at anthonyonair.com. Trying to minimize the ads, go more with this little subscription-based model. So if you become a member for $2.99, you're supporting the podcast. You're keeping it as free as possible, getting some behind-the-scenes stuff, some fun stuff that we can put together. We just did a little thing, Frank and I, from like last week. That's up there. We've got some more stuff coming too. We randomly do some giveaways. We kind of keep sprucing it up a little bit every now and then.
We bring members on the show sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. Which is always a good time, which we have to do that again really soon. The last time we did
what is it? I always messed up the 420.
Got the 420 show coming up. That's right.
That's coming up soon.
That would be the
2
next
months,
time. Yeah, you get a little high as a kite with us on the 420 show. Be a nice
Wrong with
time.
that.
Join right now. Like I said, it's as low as $2.99. Cheaper than a cup of coffee. So
Right.
link in the description below.
We got a super chat from Miss Lauren 1. Thank you for that. Don't forget, Charles was friends with Jimmy Seville.
Charles friends with a lot of big piles of shit.
I don't know who Jimmy Seville is.
Yeah, he was with Princess Diana. Oh, here we go. Princess Diana hated him, made her skin crawl. They were all friends with a lot of creep. We can't go into all of it. The fucking French guy who just got killed or killed himself, whatever. The whole fucking lot of them. We don't have time to get into it. We have Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell videos. There's hundreds of them.
Yeah.
Go on our YouTube page. Take a look at the playlist. They're all there if you want to catch up on all that stuff. Joe Rogan. Two things in hot water, and a lot of people are speculating that his Spotify deal is up this year. Spotify hasn't commented on much of what he's been doing other than to say it's not up this year. But a lot of people seem to think, yeah, a lot of people seem to think that he's not going to stick around with Spotify again. I will say this. When he went to Spotify, his numbers went down, right? He suffered a little bit because everybody, and I'm saying that because friends of his that would go on the show, when his show is everywhere, they would see a huge pop in, people following them on social media, in their ticket sales, on the comedians' ticket sales, all this stuff. When he went to Spotify, they saw a decline in that. That has erased. Like, he is back up again. And I don't know if it's the Alex Jones shows. Like, he just had so many, all the COVID stuff. There was so many controversial episodes that just kept propelling him back into the news that everything he had lost has risen back up again. Like, he's back up to those colossal numbers that he was at when he was available everywhere. That being said, on one of his latest episodes, he said, and I quote, "The idea that Jewish people don't like money is ridiculous. That's like saying Italians aren't into pizza. It's fucking stupid," end quote. This apparently upset a bunch of people, one being Jonathan Greenblatt, the director of the Anti-Defamation League. There's always some director of some anti-discrimination, defamation that sees an opportunity like this and can propel themselves into the news and garner more attention for their own organization, which...
Well, that's the point, right?
I will say you need these things, but sometimes, and I'm going to say in this particular case, it's not that bad of a comment, and you're doing it more for personal gain for your organization than anything else. What do you think?
But I think it's not a well thought out comment. It's, he's just perpetuating the stereotype about Jewish people, and to make a broad, all encompassing statement like that, it's, you got to think, you can't generalize like that. All Jewish people are blah blah blah, or all Italians blah blah blah, whatever it is. To generalize puts everybody into one, everybody's different. Not everybody likes this or that, or is a certain way. So you can't, to generalize and say all Jewish people are this way. Well, that's almost the definition. I think the definition of racism.
I disagree with you. I actually agree with what you're saying, but I disagree with you using that in this particular case, because if you said all Jewish people are cheap, that's a generalization, negative stereotype. But to say that Jewish people, the idea that Jewish people don't like money, first of all, who doesn't like money? I mean, everybody likes money.
Well, he didn't say that. That's the difference.
Yeah, but he's
everybody likes money. He said Jewish people like, it's pointing out and generalizing.
Here's what he said: the idea that Jewish people don't like money is ridiculous. That's like saying Italians aren't into pizza. It's fucking stupid. Like, I think that there are not necessarily negative stereotypes. Like, to say all Italians like pizza, okay, not every Italian likes pizza, but it's just pizza. Like you can say like all Italians like pizza, like even like all Italians smell like garlic. Okay, not the greatest thing in the world, but I know enough Italians to know that it's not completely false.
Yeah, but fine,
It's not totally
but
untrue.
I get that, but it's
Like if I
not
said to you,
every-
Frank, if I said to you, Jewish people are great at business, that is a
It's not true.
generalization. It's not
true though.
It's not 1,000% true, but I think it's a credit to the type of culture that they've built. They're great
That's
at
not-
running
yeah.
a business. I don't think that's a bad thing.
That's not what he said though. He's what's it called?
Well, what I think he's saying,
piggybacking on the Jewish stereotype of Jewish people being
Right.
obsessed with money. That's
But what I
the
think-
stereotype he's jumping on.
see, what I read from this is somebody saying like you can't say anything about Jewish people in business, and him reacting to it by saying like, well, if you think that Jewish people don't like making money, that's fucking crazy. And I don't think that is a bad thing to say. Like everybody in business, by the way, Jewish people aren't the only people at making great businesses. There are plenty of cultures that are fucking outstanding at business. And there are
Absolutely,
some
but if
cultures that just don't
I
have
get
that
it.
innately.
I get what you're saying, and look, is it the worst thing in the world that he said? No, but what he said was like, if he would have went out there and said, everybody likes money, everybody likes to make money, Jewish people included, Italian people, everybody likes to make money. It's not, he's to say it in that way. Maybe he didn't mean it that way, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But to say it in that way makes it seem like, of course, Jewish people are obsessed with money. That's how it came off. Maybe he didn't mean it like that, but I don't. It was a generalization that perpetuates a stereotype.
See, I think when you look at what is offensive, Marjorie Taylor Greene the other night when she goes, I know plenty of white people that are dumber than black people. To me, that is horrifically offensive.
Yeah, she's on a whole other level of offensive and
right.
terrible.
But that's not like a stereotype per se, or like there's no bad words in there, but it is so awful because of the context of the situation. Like
I get it, but
assumption that look how dumb the black people are, but I know I can find a couple of whiteys that are dumber. It's like, oh my God. Like,
yeah, well, it's not as bad as that, but it's close because he's associating Jewish people with greed. He's saying, of course, Jewish people like
you're
money.
doing that, not him.
Yeah, well, he didn't say those words, but he's saying, of course, Jewish people like money. It's like,
but here's my question.
He could have said, of course, everybody likes money. If he was
you're taking it to a negative way. Why not take it to a positive way? Why not look at it like, well, of course, Jewish people are great at business. They make money. They do really well. Like, why does it have to be a negative? Why can't it be a positive?
Because
we're both leaping. You and I are both leaping. You're leaping
No.
to the negative rock. I'm leaping to the positive rock.
Well, whenever anybody says almost anything, you associate it with things.
By the way,
that's
Will
just
Smith is
normal-
leaping. Will Smith is leaping towards Chris Rock. So
What?
I said positive rock, negative rock, and then I said Will Smith is leaping
Oh, I
towards
didn't
the
even
Chris
hear you
Rock.
say that. That's good.
Go ahead.
Okay, very good.
I got you all heated. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's good. No. What I'm saying is, there's a stereotype out there that happens to be negative about Jewish people, and it's the greedy stereotype. And it's
Okay, but listen.
terrible, and it's racist. And this just piggybacks on it. Did he say Jewish people are greedy? No, he didn't. But he said, of course, Jewish people like money. It's a very, I don't know. It's just again, it's not. Is it the worst thing he said in the world? No, but it's still a stereotype.
You're right about that. I think he once said Kathy Griffin was funny, and that to me is the worst thing in the world anybody could say. Here's Bird. I'm Irish. I love potatoes. Listen, there's a lot of these things that I think are true. Okay, there's
That's
a great,
fine, but not all Irish people love potatoes. It's not a,
but I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that sort of a thing. Potatoes are lovely.
Potatoes are lovely, but the thing is, when you generalize it might not be a hatred thing. That's the difference. There's a difference between hatred and just stereotypical racism doesn't have to be hatred. I feel like it doesn't have to be hatred. It's just a stereotyping and generalizing.
Well, I think you can stereotype and not be hateful and not be negative.
That's what I'm saying. Well,
I think there are positive stereotypes.
There are, but this didn't feel like one. It felt like, of course, Jewish people like it's like
because it involves Jewish people, it just automatically feels like it can't be.
No, because it's a popular negative stereotype, and he was like,
well, that's my thing. Why can't it be a positive stereotype? I understand that there is not
greed. Greed is not a positive stereotype.
Gordon Gekko would disagree with you, my friend.
Well, that's Gordon Gekko. And
I'm just saying.
What happens there.
I'm just saying.
Jail or something.
Here's what Jonathan Greenblatt said. This is the director of the Anti-Defamation League. He said, and I quote, "It's disturbing that at a time of rising anti-Jewish violence, when growing numbers of Americans believe in anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, Joe would use this immense platform to spew anti-Semitic tropes about Jews and money. For centuries, people have used these long-standing tropes to spread vicious lies about the Jewish people." Again, I think that's a positive thing to be like, look at this culture. They're excellent at business. They have a knack.
He didn't say they're excellent at business, did he? What did he say? He said, of course, Jewish people love money.
He said, no, the idea that Jewish people don't like money is ridiculous. So he's reacting to a reaction of a stereotype. He's basically saying, like, you can't say Jewish people love money or are greedy, so let's pretend like they're not both of those things. And he's like, to pretend that they're not is fucking ludicrous. And that's what I agree with, because it's like, why can't we acknowledge this particular sect of people are really good at something? You know,
because not all of them are. It's not. It's a generalization.
That's hateful.
I think the thing he was reacting to was a general. What is it again? To say what the thing he was reacting to.
I don't have it. I have what he said. The idea that Jewish people don't like money is ridiculous.
No. But you mentioned that the thing he was reacting to something. It was a stereotype, and then
I think he's reacting to people. This is what I think. Okay. Here's the 3 steps. The first step: Jewish people are greedy and all they want is money. And then the reaction to that is, you can't say that. Not all Jewish people. That's a ridiculous stereotype. That's crazy. And then his reaction to that is, well, to say that they don't like money is ridiculous, because of course people like money. And if you're good at business and good at making money, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. But he's, again, the negative stereotype that has followed Jewish people for centuries is this stereotype of greed. And to go out and say something like, of course Jewish people like money. It's the equivalent of saying, of course Jewish people are, it sounds like a greedy thing. It might not be him saying Jewish people are greedy, but it's parallel, it seems.
I don't disagree with what you just said. I just don't think. I think it's all in how each individual interprets it, and I think that people are interpreting it as a negative when it shouldn't be. Like, for instance, you can make the same argument, take Jewish people out of the equation and substitute Americans. Like, a lot of people would say, well, Americans are greedy.
I get that, but Americans weren't persecuted for being greedy, for that stereotype. Jewish people have been attacked and put down historically because of that stereotype.
Was it that, like, were you saying Hitler was mad at the Jews because they
not just that stereotype?
I think it's a lot of
part of it.
Yeah, I think it has less to do with the Jews and more to do with Hitler than Hitler's issues.
Well, that's the shit that they were spreading. They're greedy. They're underhanded. All this stuff. So to feed into it even a little bit, to say, if he would have said, yeah, I know some Jewish people who are great with money, and I know some who aren't. Who are, that's okay. But to be like, all Jewish people love money. I'm paraphrasing. He didn't say that exactly, but to say something like that.
That's what I'm saying. You're paraphrasing. Your example is not what he said.
well, I can't remember verbatim, but he's saying what he said. Just again, is it the worst thing anybody's ever said? No, but it feeds a negative stereotype, is what I'm saying. I mean, I'm sure there are levels of racism. He could have said the worst thing in the world, which obviously he didn't, but he said something that is not great. That's what I think.
There's a great episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where I forget how it starts, but Larry David's eating like a watermelon or something, and JB Smoove walks in the room and he's like, "This is delicious. You got to have some." And he's like, "No, thanks." And he's like, "You don't want watermelon?" It's like fantastic. And he's like, "No, that's okay." And like later on the episode, he admits that he loves watermelon, but because of the stereotype that all black people love watermelon, he's embarrassed to eat it in front of white people or even go to the store and buy.
See, and that
Larry
that's
takes
a positive. That's not a negative, but
Right.
it's seen as a negative because of the connotation. It just
right, but
comes
it's
off that way because it's a generalization. That's why it's negative.
it's a really hysterical exercise in that has more to do with that a black person would be embarrassed to eat watermelon because they just love watermelon because of the stereotype is part of the problem, right? And where's the problem really? It's not with the black person who likes watermelon. The problem is with the racist people who perpetuate negative stereotypes. And I think the point is that anything is going to be turned into a negative by
That's
an
not
intolerant person.
That's not true.
It is
not
true.
Not anything. Some things.
Dude, eating watermelon is such an innocent thing.
Yeah,
like,
that's why it's not a. That's why it's a joke on a comedic show.
but follow me here. Follow me here.
No, I'm not.
Watermelon in the summertime is delicious. I would say 98% of the 6 billion people on this planet would be like, yeah, give me a watermelon. It's summer, it's hot, it's
totally.
delicious, it's good. To be like all black people love watermelon as a stereotype, which obviously exists, is bad because racist, shitty people use it as another reason to hate black people.
Right, but you wouldn't go out there and would you just if you were talking about the African American community, would you just go out on and say all black people? You wouldn't say that.
I would say all fucking people love watermelon. It's I mean,
thank you. You'd say all people.
But all
you would
people
say all
love it.
people.
Delicious.
Right. That's my point. You would
Yeah.
say all people love watermelon. You wouldn't specify. You wouldn't hone in on the African American community. You'd say all people. Just like all people love money. You wouldn't hone in on the Jewish community. Same thing.
I know I wouldn't, but here's the other thing. I acknowledge and praise the Jewish culture for being particularly great at business. I don't think that is a bad thing to do.
I understand.
I don't think
but
it's a negative
still...
stereotype. Okay, it's like okay, here's another negative stereotype. All Chinese people are great at math. Okay, but when you look at it, if that is important to their culture, and from generation to generation, parent teaches child that schoolwork and studies are important, it's only a negative thing because some racist fucking asshole would bring it up in an argument if he's arguing with an Asian or a Chinese person.
But let's say an Asian person is part of a project or something, and the only reason that someone brought that person on the team is because they were Asian, because they thought that they would be good at math. That's racism.
Good strategy. Oh, sorry, I didn't think you were.
You're an ass. It's that's what leads to people judging people before they know them.
All right, but okay, you've all been. I've been in this. I don't know if you've been through this, but we were working in radio, and all of a sudden, the local pizzeria comes on to fucking advertise. That shit wound up on my desk 10 times out of 10. They didn't give it to the other production guys. They like give it to the fucking Italian guy. He'll fucking do it. Whenever there was a Sopranos spoof spot, that came to my desk. Nobody else's. I didn't get upset about it. I'm like, all right, I can do that. I can do that character. I mean, that's not anything to be upset about. To say that most pizzerias are owned and run by Italian people, that's part of our culture. That's not a negative thing.
So you're there's little words in what you're saying that help my case because you're saying most. What Rogan was saying was to say,
I hear you.
I can't
I
get
hear
it
you.
exactly, but you're not supposed to say all of this type of people are this way.
Listen, while
can't
you're
do that.
talking about this, let's get some watermelon for the table. I'm fucking dying
That'd
for
be
some
nice.
watermelon right
That
now.
would be nice. That's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is we're supposed to not judge people before we know them. Don't judge books by their covers. And when you prejudge a whole group of people based on a stereotype, that's racist.
Answer this question honestly, because I know the answer. It's me, you, and 4 black people that we just met. Me, you, and Janine. 4 black people that we just met on vacation, and by we, I mean Janine.
What?
I'm saying,
on vacation with 4 black people.
No, I'm saying like she makes friends with people. So she makes friends with 4 black people. They're joining us at the table.
Okay.
Would you, Frank, order watermelon for the table?
I'd order some nachos for the table.
You wouldn't order watermelon, would you? You would think you would think,
I don't know.
They're gonna think I'm racist.
If that's what the place is known for, are you ever at a restaurant where you order watermelon for the table? When is that ever a thing? I've never been to a restaurant where you could order a dish of watermelon for the table.
You know who's got a good little that fucking Friendlies? They make like this watermelon log. It's like an ice cream.
I like that thing. That's good. With the little chocolate chip pits.
It's fucking great. This goes back to, did I ever tell this story? I've told this story before. I'm working at CBS FM. We have a receptionist, young lady. She's black, right? I come upstairs. I'm literally eating. It was fried chicken was a special at the cafeteria. Cafeteria in the CBS building was phenomenal. It was the MTV building. Fucking phenomenal. I'm eating it on the elevator on the way up. It's so fucking good because it smells amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I fucking walk by. She's like, "What do you got there?" I'm like, "Fried chicken." I'm like, "You would love this. It's amazing." She goes, "The fuck does that mean?" It's like, I mean, it's like it never occurred to me. Like, if anybody got me in that moment, I would have said, "You would love this. It's delicious." Because she was black, she was like, "What the fuck does that mean?" I'm like,
"What did you say?"
I said, "It's good. I don't know. What do you mean?" I'm like, "It's delicious." She goes, "Because I'm black." And I'm like, "No."
Was she messing with you?
She got a little mad at me for it, but nothing really ever came about because I don't know. It's not like I had a history of that sort of thing with her. I think she was just kind of having a bad day, and it was just a combination of bad times. It's not the only time I've done something like that in my life, by the way.
Yeah, that is a foot in the mouth kind of comment.
It's a real foot in the mouth kind of a thing. But
and that she was obviously offended by that.
Yeah,
and
she snapped at me very quickly. I felt so bad about it because it wasn't my intention. You know me, I'm just like,
of course,
it's fucking great. Like,
of course, but that's the thing when someone generalizes an entire community based on a stereotype, that's not good. That's not.
I understand.
You're not supposed to do that.
I think what I'm saying, and to kind of come out, give a macro look at this, I think we should be a bit more proud of some of those things, and not look at it so. Because what I'm saying is, racist, shitty people are going to take us down to the lowest common denominator, no matter what. You know, if your culture is great at business, math, making pizza, like whatever it is, wear it like a badge of honor. Like, you know, it's not always a negative thing. It can be a positive thing. It can be a good thing. It'll be used negative against you by a racist, shitty person, but there's no stopping that, you know? And I think that perpetuating negative things like, okay, all black people are dumb or they steal, like a Marjorie Taylor Greene kind of a fucking thing. That's an asshole being an asshole, you know? That's a negative stereotype. You know, these people are all crooks or criminals. That's a negative stereotype. Can't turn that around.
I get it, but
some of the stereotypes out there, I think we could take a little bit more pride in them and not be so ashamed of them.
I understand your point. My only thing is sometimes a positive stereotype can be used against someone. Like, let's say the math thing. If there's an Asian person who is not good at math and someone just assumes they are, and they mess up, you know, and it's like, well, I thought you would be good at this, and it's like, well, what the
Yeah,
fuck,
I could see that could be hurtful.
it could become a negative thing. So that's why it stems from stereotyping. Stereotyping is not a good thing. You know, it's a generalization. You can't say all Italian people are this way or all African American people are that way.
Let's go into that. All the Italians in the mafia. Okay. Not a great stereotype.
That's a stereotype, and that's not good.
Again, I will say, when you look at it, really at the heart of that, you're talking about a group of people that are wonderfully loyal and incredibly loyal.
Yeah. Law, you know, breaking the law, murderers.
No, I'm not talking about the mafia. I'm talking about Italian people are loyal and very family oriented. You know, like that is built into us. Like we're not all in the mafia, but we are all do or die for our family and friends.
Maybe there are Italian people that are orphans. So there are Italian people that don't have any family.
Of course, not everything is 100%. 100%.
That's the point. You could say
yes,
most Italian people, a lot of Italian people, but to say that all Italian people are this way is a stereotype, and that's
okay. But is it a stereotype or is it hyperbole? Because if you say all Italians, you kind of not. There's no situation where 100% of any kind of person, whether it's race, religion, sex, is ever on the same page.
That's that's a smart person's thinking. But when you say something like all, and that catches on, and people start saying all, and that's where stereotypes come from. When someone says, well, all these people are this way, well, you know, and it just becomes habit to say all people are this way, all these people are this way, then it's just going to become part of the normal way of speaking, and people are just going to adapt that or adopt that into their way, you know, the way they talk.
You know what I always found interesting about racism? And this is not so much true anymore, but it was true. I'm curious to get your thoughts on your grandparents. You know, when you're a kid, you learn racism. You learn about it. Somebody from the neighborhood, maybe you got a shitty family member that says shitty stuff. You don't grow up like knowing those things about particular races or sex or people, right? But, you know, in my family, my grandparents, God rest their soul, what I found so interesting is it wasn't necessarily the Italians versus fill in the blank, Irish, you know, whatever, Germans, right? It was more like in Italy, they fucking were biased to each other, like the north and the south of Italy. Fucking.
Oh, sure. That's like.
And they would be like them fucking north. You talk about stereotypes and racism, like. It is all about that kind of stuff. My grandmother never really accepted my father because he was Sicilian. And you say that to an American and they're like, I didn't even know anybody. It's a fucking boot. It's a country and who gives a shit? But you go into a hardcore Italian family, like I said, maybe the older generations, our grandparents, they'd be like, don't fucking trust them Sicilians. You can't fucking, you know, that's how they were.
Yeah, but again, not all of them.
No, all of them.
Oh.
Okay. All right, where are we gonna go next? Damn it!
What do you got?
Trump, Baldwin, Joe Exotic, the Billionaire, Rihanna.
What's up with Rihanna?
This happens every year. I'm gonna go ahead and say all the conservatives are to blame for this one.
All of them? That's a stereotype.
Yeah. Rihanna had 103 FCC complaints put against her for the halftime show.
Say it again.
There was a big range of them, and there was a lot of tweets. Let me see. One of them was, this year's halftime show was so indecent, I had to turn it off. I had to turn off the TV because of the pornographic content.
What?
Another one was, I don't care what someone worships, but children shouldn't be exposed to pornography. And as an adult, I don't wish to see it. Where has the decency gone?
What the hell? I don't even. I'm thinking. Everyone was fully or overly dressed, and I don't remember anything. I can't even think of what was anything racy, or you know. Maybe there was one or two like dance moves that were, you know, crotch grabbing or something, but that's That's just a dance move. It's been around forever. That move.
There was a lot of references to the crotch grab, which I would argue wasn't so much a grab. She kind of just put her hand in front of her crotch. I don't think it was a grab per se. No pick.
Please. That's no pick. No, that's ridiculous.
103. By the way, this happens every single year, and it's always the religious crazy nut jobs that are out there that are like, this is disgusting. Like, I don't know what they want. I don't know.
You know, they want just a guy with a guitar sitting up there playing whatever.
Maybe they need one of those Jesus records. One of those Jesus. By the way, that Christian rock stuff. We had a friend of ours that almost went into the priesthood. And I get in his car one day, which I fully support. He didn't go through with it, but I have no problem with priests. I have no problem with the religious people. I have a little problem with Christian rock. I get in the car and he's listening to like the fucking Christian rock station on XM. And I'm just like, I'm like listening. I'm like, yeah, this song is kind of okay. It kind of feels like a little pop rock. Then it's like, Jesus' blood is washing over me. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what are you listening to? And he's like, oh, it's like the Christian rock station. I'm like, do you really like this? And he's like, yeah, it's not too bad. And I'm like, no, it's not that it's not bad. I'm like, do you love it? I was like, you could like turn, like there's Credence on the other station. Like there's the Beatles. Like there's really good stuff to listen to. You're sitting there listening to the Jesus rock stuff. Like, I know people are into that stuff, Frank. It's just not good. You know, for the most part, it's really like you can write a great song. There's plenty of great songs about God and religion written by great songwriters. I just feel like when musicians sit down and like, I'm going to write this song about Jesus, it doesn't work as well as when you just let a song kind of naturally come about. And there's this whole industry now of people that just want to hear Jesus stuff all the time. And that's why it all exists. And I'm kind of like, this sucks. I'm sorry. This fucking sucks.
It's not your bag. There are people that love it. You know, there's whole stations devoted to it. It's a whole genre.
Which here's the thing. I always say everybody should do whatever they want except for vegetarians. And I'm going to also say the Christian rock fans too.
Robin, he's putty. Did he have a Jesus fish on the back of his cup?
Stole my Jesus fish.
That's right. That's hilarious.
It is really hilarious. I love those putty really hit a groove there. I don't know what season that was, but late, like mid putty. Yeah. You know, there was a height. Right. There was a when he's just sitting on the couch staring.
Oh, that's one of my favorite memes. He's sitting there, and there's a meme of I gotta find it now, but it's like I'm sorry, give me 1 second.
Go ahead. And listen, I don't want people thinking I'm like I love a good God song, you know. And if you look at, I hate to be this guy, and I get shit for this. You look at Dave Matthews' catalog. There's plenty of songs about God and Jesus and everything else, and they're great. I just think there is a inauthenticity to some of these Christian rock things where they're like, well, we can't make it as real rock stars, so we'll start singing about Jesus and maybe we'll find a niche there. I feel like 98% of the people that are on those Christian rock stations, that's how they wound up getting there. It was like in high school. In our high school, it was like everybody went out and tried for the basketball team. They tried out for the baseball team and the hockey team. And if you turned out to not be a great athlete, you went to the track team. It was like, and the track coaches would say that, like, go out for the real sports first. And if you don't make the cuts, you can come here and run for us because it's just fucking running. It's the same thing with Christian rock. Christian rock is the high school track team. Did you find it yet?
High school track team. Well, it's basically, it's David Putty sitting on the couch and staring. And it says, I forget his name, the drummer for Queen. And it's like this guy for the first 3 minutes of Bohemian Rhapsody, and he's just sitting there like this, and there's the drum set all around him, and he's just sitting there staring. That's really fucking funny. I can't find it though, but it's hilarious.
That's pretty good. Yeah. The whole I'm so weirded out by the religious people. I saw a TikTok the other day. This preacher was in this blue jacket and he had like these gold medallions and somebody called him Captain Crunch and I fucking almost pissed myself because he looked like He looked like Captain Crunch's outfit. That's what he looked like. And it's one of these things where, you know, they like touch the people and they fall, they blow on the people. I don't get the blowing all of a sudden. Blowing has become such a thing now where they go instead of just touching them. And so this girl comes up and she's like, and he's like, what's ailing you? And she walks up and she's like, I have so many problems. And he goes, you're healed. And she fucking falls down.
Come on.
And everybody starts looking, and he's looking at them, and he kind of acknowledges. He's like, "We didn't have time to listen, like to hang around for." Like he literally says that to everybody. Like, I don't have time to listen to all your fucking problems. Let me blow on you.
I'll give you the drive-through healing.
Oh my God, what a scam!
What about that guy who makes? I forget his name. The televangelist guy. He's like the most famous one now.
There's a bunch of them.
Popular one.
Yeah, there's
He's
a bunch
like
of them.
most younger guy, one of the most popular ones. There was an article that came out or something that came out that said he makes like $40 million a year.
Oh, they all make crazy money.
I can't. How could you preach something like that and be, you know, and drive around and those, you know? I'm sorry, but you can't. You can't have it both ways. That's just the way I feel.
I did play high school hockey with Frank in high school. Not to say anything bad about track. My cousin was a track star. People make. By the way, there is somebody who actually has my exact name, and it is a world famous Olympic track star. So I don't. That's probably where
to live up to there, buddy.
It's
not good.
I've had people go, "Are you the tracks?" And they look at me like, "What happened to you?
Do I look like the track?"
Yeah. And I'm like, "No, I was never the track star." Because they're like,
why don't you say yes? Who cares?
Because they look at me like, the tracks, bee stings? Like what? And I'm like, no, that's not me.
Are you allergic to something? What's going on here?
You look like those before and after pictures that are on the bottom of sketchy websites.
Just you know, Wheaties aren't as good for you as they said they were.
Yeah.
That's what
anyway, but that's it. Am I lying? That's what our track coaches said in high school. Go out for the real sports if you know me. Because everybody made the track team in our high school.
But they wanted me to be on track. I remember we did what was called freshman field day. Remember that?
Yeah.
Where you just pick a thing and you try it. And if you like it, you could join or whatever the hell it was. So I did the relay race. I forget what the length of the race was, but I had to do a half a lap, hand the baton, half a lap, blah, blah, blah. So I came in second. I was hauling ass. And the only reason I came in second is because the guy that I was behind, they did it by weight. Same weight as me, but he was like a foot taller. And he was just, every 3 steps of mine was 1 step for him. So I was fucking chugging away. And I was flying. And I did really well. And as soon as I was done, I was huffing and puffing because I had asthma at the time. And they came up to me, "Oh, you got to join the track team. You got to join the track team." I'm like on the floor, like I'm not going to do that. I can't I'll die on the field. So hockey was a little, not that it wasn't exhilarating and energy, you needed energy, but at least, I'm not running.
Well, you were the goalie. You fucking stood there most of the time.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Yeah, it takes some bursts of energy. Being a goalie was difficult. You have to be there for the entire game. There's no stopping. Damn it.
By the way, they picked track for Frank on freshman field day. For me, they picked the pie eating contest, just in case anybody was curious.
Who else was going to do it?
Somebody's got to eat 6 pies.
Right. Nobody noticed my head start. I choose not to run. Man, Seinfeld is in everything.
Yeah, he really is. He really is.
All right, so what's next? Rihanna was complaining.
Yeah, I was going to say something else here. Anyway, I don't know. Where do you want to go next? Let's talk about this billionaire.
Yeah, what is this about?
All right. This guy, don't make fun of me, but I swear I've seen this guy.
I'm probably going to make fun of you.
No, stop it. His name was Thomas H. Lee. They found him yesterday morning with self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head in his bathroom. He was described as the envy of Wall Street. This is like the most shocking suicide. 78 years old.
Wow.
He's valued at over $2 billion. You know that line? Shit, this is my notes now and I can't find it. There was a line about in Wall Street, in the movie Wall Street. Something about Anacott Steel, like the shit.
I don't know. I never saw Wall Street.
You never did?
No.
Anyway, this guy was like, they based some of Wall Street around him. In fact, there's some like code, like, oh, the blue angel loves Anacott Steel, whatever the fuck it was. Oh, blue horseshoe loves Anacott Steel. That was
And
like,
is that him?
yeah, it was based on him, this guy. And he's been just like doing it for years. And he's got over $2 billion. Huge philanthropist, supported so many things, had what is described as one of the most beautiful houses in East Hampton. Wife,
Family?
yeah, beautiful, gorgeous wife, Anne Tannenbaum, 5 children. Like nobody can figure out what the hell went wrong. And I always look at stuff like this, and it always kind of, even since I turned 42, it has a bigger effect on me, because you look at that and you go, this fucking guy had everything, money, family. He's a giving person. He's like philanthropist. He's done, like, the only negative thing I could find was when they came out to visit in the Hamptons, the Clintons stayed with him. So that'd be something I could be embarrassed about. I'd be a little ashamed. That would have, 27 flights on Epstein's Island. You go, oh shit, maybe I should have been housing this guy. But I mean, all joking aside, I mean,
you never know what struggle someone's going through. They could be like Robin Williams.
I know.
Funny, happy, go lucky. You would never think. And then something like that happens. You don't know, what people are struggling with. So I feel like a lot of things. When has there ever been a suicide where anybody was like, well, that was, that was bound to happen.
Epstein, Prince Andrew.
I mean, like, from an average person.
Yeah.
It's always, wow, I didn't, why would they do that? I didn't see that coming. Not always, but like, there are people that are messed up in ways, like on drugs and stuff like that. But just when you're talking about like just a average person who has an average, a regular job, whatever, and they're just going about their day, you never think some people are going through some shit in their heads. You would never know.
You know what bothers me more than anything? DJ Shenanigan pointed it out, is the 78 part. Like at 78. With all this guy's accomplished, don't you think that there's some point where you just find absolute, look, there's things that torment me, right? I mean, there's all sorts of stuff, the business, the kids, all that stuff. This guy, you look at this guy, he's 78 years old, he's accomplished, he's giving, he's all these things. Is there not a peace in that? I don't get it.
Mental struggles can hit anybody at any time.
Yeah.
Whatever age you are, it's not, some people struggle with handling it, and it's terrible. And this was definitely like case closed. It's a suicide.
Well, I mean, nobody is saying anything about any foul play. I found it a little weird because they went in and tried to get him when he wasn't really answering anybody, and his assistant found him. I'm skeptical right away of those kinds of things, especially when it's like, oh, so-and-so hasn't answered anything in a couple of days. And they tried to revive him, which again,
really?
Yeah, it's like, did nobody hear a gunshot? Did he just do it? Was it, he's sitting there for a while? If he's sitting there for a while, why'd they try and revive him? I don't really know. And there's not a ton of information out there, but like I said, the weird part about this is he looks like everybody else. But I swear to God, I was at a fucking party with this guy. Like I was at something, and this fucking guy was there. He looks
familiar to you.
He looks so familiar to me. Like I feel like there was
could be you live relatively close to each other. You
Yeah,
could have
well,
been at some kind of event.
I'm on the other side of the tracks, Frank. You see, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm closer
And
to him than I am to people in Texas. If that's what you mean.
what did he? Right. What did he have? Some kind of illness that he didn't want to go?
You know,
through?
maybe he did. Like that's the only like the Robin Williams thing. That's the only thing you can think of to be like, well, all right, then maybe. You know,
Who knows?
who
Again, it could be a mental thing. You never know what people go through. Oh,
All right, I knew that. Oh,
Wait, who are you
what
talking?
what are you on dial-up?
I was just gonna make that same joke. All right, JSabs is in Minnesota, and apparently all they have is AOL.com. Are you on an AOL dial-up server?
What's up, dial-up?
Did everybody have to hang up the landline phone for you to be on?
Yeah.
Jeez.
The moose had to go back and forth with the wires. You know, waiting for him to go
Moose.
back on the other side of the tracks.
It's good.
There
The
you
internet
go.
lines are fucking frozen. Go ahead.
Wait, just
How's
want to know
Minnesota?
what billionaire killed himself.
Don't worry about it. We wasn't gonna leave you the money anyway.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll go back and watch the show like I always do every Monday.
Why do you sound like you're not coming through your little earbuds there? Well, that's not a good face to get frozen in on. I'm gonna save JSabs here.
Yeah, that. What is she doing? Oh yeah, she's at a conference for.
She's at a
Star
conference.
Legacy.
She's saving the world.
Save the world.
Fix your headphones there, JSabs. I'll bring you back in a second. I'm excited to see JSabs check in from Minnesota. I'm wondering if JSabs will be a friendlier version of JSabs. By the way, I think she already made friends with an old person.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Did you
Is
bring in a
this better?
snowball from outside?
No, but you know what's funny?
This is
That
what
is
happens when you don't pay for the dial-up. You know, you got to pay the extra $10. Are hotels still charging you money for the extra internet?
Wi-Fi and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I assume some of them have, as a selling point, have like free Wi-Fi or whatever. But I'm sure there are some out there that charge you.
They shouldn't. I mean, you're spending fucking $220 to sleep somewhere for the night. They could kick in the fucking internet. They don't have to hit you up for another $9.99. Yeah.
You touch anything in the mini bar, it's another $40.
It's very, very true. Third time's a charm. Let's try it again.
It's probably not going to work.
Go ahead.
How far are you from the biggest ball of twine?
Oh, Frank, I didn't look at that. I did go to the Mall of America today,
All right.
and I liked it.
Did you retrace the Mighty Duck
Before we
steps?
No. Before we get anywhere, I have a question to ask you. You, Frank. Did you hire a liberal to come and sit right next to my seat and make sure that she sat down right next to me?
Wait, what happened? I'm sorry. Say it again.
Did you hire a liberal to sit next to her on the plane?
I did. How was she?
Okay. So, of course, I meet this little old lady, cutest little thing, firecracker. I liked her. She fell asleep a few times, not while I was talking to her. She just fell asleep. She's like, I'm going to go to sleep. And okay, fine. She talked in her sleep every time she fell asleep.
Adorable.
So
What did she
funny.
say?
I don't even.
Oh. DJ Shenanigan, 2G JSabs. It's true.
2G Sabs.
What's in Minnesota? JSabs does work for the Star Legacy Foundation, which raises awareness and funds for, I always forget how they say it.
Stillborn.
Stillborn birth. Yeah.
Yeah.
JSabs lost her first baby, Diana Hope, for those of you who don't know. And she's been 5 years ago, and she's just before my daughter was born, and she's been raising money and being a part of the organization for years. I personally think Frank doesn't, but I personally think she's laundering money out of there, stealing it somehow. But I'm not gonna. I
think that too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give her a hard time.
I'm already. So
JSabs
okay.
in bed.
Can I tell you something? This is way
This isn't
better.
OnlyFans. This is
Is it better?
It's a fucking way better.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Maybe go horizontal though. Go landscape.
Yeah, turn your phone. I just think maybe the router is by the bed area somewhere because it's way better.
Wait, hold on. Now I locked my phone. Okay.
I can hear you better. I could see you clearer. Go ahead.
So.
Is this the view your husband has? This is.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. What do you think? We video message each other? What are we, teens?
I'm just saying when he gets on top of you. But go ahead. Keep going.
So, okay. So she falls asleep a few times. She talks in her sleep. Cutest thing. We talk about really why I'm here, blah, blah, blah. Go back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. She goes, are you into politics?
Oh, boy.
That's a hell of a question to ask somebody on an airplane. That is not the question.
When you're trapped next to the person.
Immediately
you have nowhere to go.
Immediately I'm like, Frank definitely hired this woman. There's no
love this lady. This lady's fantastic.
There's no doubt in my mind, right? And she's like, she said something. She goes, are your friends MAGA?
Man, she called you right out.
So I said,
were you wearing a MAGA hat?
No. I said to her, I'm not really into politics. Like, you know, I grew up, I never really, my parents were into it. So I said only like the last couple of years, I said, I'm still not into it, but I have friends who go back and forth. And that's when she said, are your friends MAGA?
Oh.
And I'm like, well, one is, the rest aren't. And she goes, oh, so those are the smart ones.
Boom.
And she goes, as you can tell.
What's this lady's Twitter handle?
I
want to follow her. Oh, okay.
Then, oh my God, I don't even know if I should say this on here. She's like, you know, I wanted to kill him. And I'm like, what? And she's like, I wanted to actually go and shoot him. And I was like,
oh boy. All right, that's extreme.
And she's like, I told my friends, I kind of made a little plan. And I was like, oh my God.
That's not good.
And
all right,
then,
I don't want to follow this lady anymore on Twitter.
And then I was hysterical, right? Because I was like, oh my God, am I on a fucking candid camera show? Frank definitely hired this woman. Like, there's no doubt in my mind.
No, I didn't hire her. She's batshit.
So hysterical. So I could see she was struggling with one of her bags. So I said to her, how about I hold the bag for you till, we get out. She's like, okay. So we're walking through. She's struggling. She's 78 years old. I'm like, lady. Let me just hold your bag. She stops in the middle, like walking out of the plane. She's like, I can get it now. I was like, no, you can't. I was like, we're going. I was like, and she's like, it's okay here. We get out of the plane, out of the tunnel. She's like, it's okay. I go, no. I go, we're going to baggage and I'm following you. I said, I'm not going to steal your bag.
Did you pat her down?
She's like, okay. So let me tell you something. I'm a nice fucking person. Okay.
Well, yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I got her.
Subjective.
She also checked baggage. I didn't. She checked this big suitcase. And I said to her, let me get it for you.
Wow. You are nice. I would not stick around for that.
I got the suitcase for her. I walked her outside with all her 3 bags, and her sister-in-law picked her up, and I sent her on her way. Now, I mean, come on. That's a nice thing for me to do, right?
Now, when you did that, when her sister came, did you say, maybe next time be nicer to the MAGA people, you piece of shit, because one just helped you?
What?
Boom.
As she drove off, I screamed, "Make America Great Again."
Did you really?
No.
No. That's believable.
Can I tell you, I'm actually a little mad at you. The beauty of not checking a bag is so you can just get the hell out of there. And you stuck around.
That's how nice I am.
That is very nice.
Thank you.
I don't like to give you kudos.
Did you steal someone's limo? As
No.
O'Brien?
Did you use her as a cover to steal salad? Is that what it was? Okay.
But I purposely did not check luggage because I did not want to wait around. Really, for Minnesota is not going to be the problem. It's going to be JFK, but I didn't want to. So I paid extra money for a seat. Well, I didn't pay it. They're going to pay it. And I'm like, I'm paying extras because if you go onto a JetBlue flight and if you don't have the correct tier, whatever that you paid for, you cannot bring on a carry-on bag. You have to
really?
check. Yep. You have
Not
to pay
even a small, like a backpack?
That's it, but you cannot have a carry-on.
Okay.
You flew JetBlue?
Yep.
I'll tell you what, I'd really love to see some of this money go to stillborn research, not necessarily your fucking lap of luxury.
Right, but it's not really. So get on the plane.
It's JetBlue. It's not like they put you on fucking Spirit or Frontier like I fly.
Oh no. They put us on the oldest JetBlue plane. Okay. Now, the flight attendant told me, she's like, "Oh yeah, this is the oldest plane we have. I hate this plane. There's so much turbulence on it." I was like,
"Oh God, that's not okay."
That's something you don't want to hear. But first time flying by solo, right? Let me just tell you something. I thought I was going to die. I'm not even kidding you. It was very windy today in New York.
Yeah, it was.
We get up, we start to go up, the plane dips, and it dips, and it dips again. I sweat. I'm going to be gross. I sweated through my clothes. That's how much I was sweating. And my new grandma next to me was like, "I'm here for you, honey."
I might be the last person you see. Another Seinfeld. Were you yelling, "Land on the Hudson"? It's right there.
Sully did it. Why can't you?
That's it. It's natural runway right there.
So honestly, I'd say the first 15 minutes, I've never experienced turbulence like that ever in my life. And I was like, you got to be, of course, I'm by myself. Like, I don't even have my roommate's palms to dig into, my claws. Like,
Did you dig into this old lady?
She told me I could hold her hand if I want. And I said, you don't want my sweaty palm all over you.
Oh.
So it was a little scary. But you know what? I don't care that she's a bleeding heart liberal. She was very nice to me. Okay.
See, even liberals can be nice. See, right. They're not all allowed to take everything.
Even MAGA people like myself can be nice. And and then when by the way, we became Facebook friends.
Oh my God, what?
Of course you did.
Wait, but you want to hear something funny? I did not think about vacation friends until I was in the Uber on the way to the hotel, and I started hysterical laughing because I was like, "Oh my God, they're gonna fucking make fun of me because we became friends on Facebook."
Why did you?
When did you?
Yeah, when did you exchange Facebook profiles with her?
I was trying to find her luggage for her, and I was like, "Tell me your last name," and she's like, "This is my last name." I said, "Okay." I go, "It's a little. That's it. Now we have to become Facebook friends."
You suggested. Very good.
She goes,
of course you did.
She goes, "Oh yes, I have Facebook." And I was like, "Okay, good." I was like, expect a request. And then I sent it to her, and she was like, when she left, she was like, "I love you. Thank you so much." I felt bad for her. She's 78 years old. Like, bitch, why are you traveling like this with 3 bags? Come on, by yourself.
Now, Frank said suggested. That seems like a forced situation to me.
You know what I was gonna?
What do you mean?
Like you were like, "Oh, you suggested being Facebook friends." It sounds like it sounds more like entrapment than let's be Facebook friends. It's kind of like we're gonna be Facebook friends no matter if you like it or not.
JSabs entrapped her? Yeah.
Yes.
Unfortunately, she lives only 3 towns over from me.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Jeez, you're gonna meet up for nachos.
I don't have any more grandparents left. Guess what? Guess what, Mary J? You're my new grandma.
You're the new Nona.
You're my new grandma. You know what I wanted to yell in the car, but I was like, this is too much. When she got in the car, I wanted to say, "Make sure you spell my name right on the wheel."
That's where it is.
Now I
feeling that luggage was a little heavy and jingling. All right. Money shaped bulges in the carry-on.
Right.
I just got a flash in my head of Janine crying on the 5 o'clock news, being like, I don't know how her medication got mixed up, but she was the greatest thing. You're like, oh shit.
Is your Facebook page all crazy? And
No.
Be honest, Frank, if this
Facebook
old
page all
lady
nuts?
if this old lady turns up dead and or JSab's roommate, would you challenge it? Like if the police, when the police come to you and they go, "Did you notice anything suspicious?" Are you going to say
Point 'em right to this
yes?
tape.
I'm not.
Point them right to this episode.
I'm fucking terrified. I'm gonna be like, nothing suspicious here. I don't.
Wait,
Like, just
okay,
watch
I'll
this
tell you
episode.
something.
That's all you need.
She mentioned, wait, this is what I forgot. Before I forget, she mentioned Epstein.
She did.
Yeah, she was very 78 and fucking quick as a whistle. I don't know, is that a fucking term? Because I was talking about like places we went, and I said I used to go to this place in the Bahamas. He wasn't my boss, but he was on the board of directors. He had an island, and he had a house on this like small island, and she goes, his last name was an Epstein, right? By any chance?
Nice.
Boom.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, I like you. I like you. And I said, well, if that was the case, I wouldn't be flying JetBlue.
That's true. All right, good question from Glenn. Was this old lady's last name Pelosi by any chance?
No. She was really. I guess what's gonna happen? She's gonna end up at 4th of July. I feel it so hard. She's gonna be at 4th of July. I hate to tell you.
Oh boy.
Oh God.
But you know what? Frank and her are gonna become best friends.
No, she sounds
first they're gonna act
a little
like they
too
don't know each
extreme.
other.
If you,
Oh, hi, nice to meet you. I've never met you before.
Frank's gonna walk up to her and go, that one and that one over there.
oh boy. Yeah, this lady sounds a little too over the line for me.
Can I tell you what happened to me?
Did you report it to the FBI?
Ginny, let me tell you what happened to me last time I was on a plane. I was sitting next to this guy and we had a little conversation. And then as we landed, we actually spoke, like, you know how you have that 20 minutes between the time the plane lands and you get off the plane?
Yeah.
We spoke that entire time.
Oh.
And I was kind of like, I was in my mind, I was like, thank goodness we didn't talk the whole plane, because we could have talked the whole plane ride. But I was like, oh, it's nice to meet you. He's like, yeah. He's like, I wish I would have talked to you sooner. I was like, oh, I know. So we're coming back. We're coming back like on our return flight, and I get on the plane, and there he is sitting there. And I'm like, oh shit.
Now you got to talk to him the whole time.
Oh.
Were you sitting next to each other?
I was right behind him. Yeah, I was like catty-corner right behind him. But I was like, is he gonna turn around? He's like, he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he went, hey. I was like, hey. And that was it. I was like,
You were like, don't talk to me.
don't talk to me.
You didn't exchange all information and become lifelong friends?
No, because there's something about
someone I know.
I love talking to and being nice to people that I will never see again. I just don't want to be caught. What Janine does is my nightmare, is being caught in a long-term like situation, you know? I fucking hate it. I was
forced.
I was in the city today. I'm walking. This lady is walking this way. This biker goes to go around the lady. I'm like, we're all three of us are going down if I don't stop. Right. So I stop. The guy goes, thank you. And I go, no problem, buddy. Like, who's that ever that nice in New York City? Like, we had such a wonderful exchange, but I felt comfortable. If we were going in the same direction, or if I had to talk to him again, I'd be like, watch your fucking, watch where you're going next time. It would just annoy the shit out of me. But because we were in and out of each other's lives, I felt fine being friendly to him.
Because you had to interact with him for half a second. That's your maximum. I could handle that. Anything longer than that, I'm gonna be a dick.
Here's the thing. The flight was supposed to be 3 hours and 20 minutes, but it ended up being 4 hours.
Oh, that's brutal.
And you know me, I can't sit still. I can barely sit still for the 45 minutes that I do on here.
That's not a terrible delay. It's a delay, but it's not.
Were you on the ground delay, or was it slow in the air?
Slow in the air. And it's funny because I said I feel like it's slow, but I'm not going to say that because, who the fuck am I? Am I a pilot? And then I asked the flight attendant, I was like, how much longer? And she's like another 45 minutes. And I was like, what? And she's like, something with the winds. going against some kind of winds. I don't know. And I was
Yeah,
like,
when
well,
Headwinds.
it was just, yeah, headwinds. I was like, oh my God, I can't sit here. I peed 4 times.
on the flight,
Yep.
that is a lot.
It is a lot because I had a lot of coffee.
Got it.
That's too much.
No alcohol at the airport.
No, you know what? Oh, then this. My Uber driver. I get in the car and I'm like, okay, whatever. About 20 minutes in, I start feeling like I'm going to throw up. Not because of the way he drove, but because he had the heat on the car. And I don't do heat in the car at all. I never do.
Not even in snowy Minnesota, freezing Minnesota.
Yeah, what's the temperature there?
No, it was New York. It was from my house to
Oh,
and I was like, it's way
you
too
took
hot.
an Uber from your house to JFK?
Yep. They're paying for it. Come on. You think I'm stupid?
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
Jesus.
Just bring for the limo or what?
So no.
Was it an Uber X, you piece of shit?
No.
It was, wasn't it?
It was the cheapest one. I'm not gonna go like, who do you think I am?
This poor, beautiful charity just getting swindled every.
So I was like, I hate to ask people to turn off the heat but I said to him, can you please turn down the heat? He does. Honestly, I thought I was gonna throw up.
Couldn't crack the window.
I
Why couldn't
cracked
open
the
the window.
But the thing is, it was so windy. I could tell he started getting cold because I saw goosebumps on his neck.
Yeah, because that's what happens when you're in the back. You open a back window, the wind just comes in, circulates, swings right around the back seat, and flies right up to the passenger seat.
So,
were you on the opposite side? Were you on the passenger back seat?
I was sitting right behind him.
Oh, what are you, a psycho killer? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Why wouldn't I?
You sit in the passenger back seat. Are you insane?
Make him more comfortable.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Because there's
right behind him.
There's more of a chance to look in the mirror and you keep looking at him sideways. Not doing that.
What?
No, that's insane.
No. So anyway,
Frank, stop it. Am I wrong here? Where do you sit when you get in a car by yourself? You sit right behind the driver?
Opposite,
passenger side.
No, opposite corner.
That would be the passenger. Do you know what the driver and passenger side is?
I couldn't hear you. You were blanking out. You were glitching out. I didn't hear what you said. So I'm just saying behind the passenger seat.
Right. Yeah, that's where you sit. You, Janine, are a psychopath. Go ahead.
Well,
yeah. Why don't you give him a shoulder massage while you're behind him?
Yeah, seriously.
So anyway, I see him getting cold, and I feel bad. I was gonna throw up. Get to JFK. I took off my jacket and stood outside for a good 3 minutes because if I don't, I have a problem. I do. I know. I said, I get car. I mean, if I get in the airport and it's hot, I'm just gonna pass out and throw up, and this is not gonna be a good deal. So anyway, waited. Okay, calm down. I didn't even get a drink, honestly, because I was like, I didn't feel right, and then finally I started feeling better. But when I get like that, no.
Well, Sharon has makes a good point. For women, behind the driver is safer, so they can't reach over
and grab me
because you're behind them. Yeah, it's safer it's safer for the person in the back seat. I get you.
I never really thought of that. I would just feel bad that this guy would think I'm gonna fucking right to the back of the head without him seeing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. This
Strangle the guy.
While
he's driving.
So already so many stories in it, and then I said, you know what? I'm gonna go to Mall of America is like 7 minutes away from the airport. I'm just gonna go there. Why not? So I go. I spend like an hour and a half there walking around, whatever. Then get another Uber to my hotel.
Wait, that's it? That's the Mall of America? Did you go on the roller coaster? Did you get an Annie Ann's pretzel? Give me more.
No, I didn't get an Annie Ann's pretzel. Why is that where they're from? No, they're from Pennsylvania.
No, Annie Ann's pretzels are like in every mall, but
it's just a mall thing.
Right. It is. Actually, I got Shake Shack.
Nice. Did you go on you didn't do the roller coaster?
What the fuck is Shake Shack?
I didn't eat anything all day. So I was like, I'm just gonna whatever, I'll just get this. But To tell you the truth, they didn't have great options there.
Go to the fucking. This drives me insane. You travel halfway across the country to go to a place that you have 5 minutes from your house.
Well, this is what they had: Burger King, Chick-fil-A. They did have a rotating sushi bar, but I was like, I don't want that over here.
Not too much water close to Minnesota.
No. And then they do have a lot of lakes, though.
Not with fucking tuna in them.
Right. So I was like, no. Then they also had this like fast Italian street thing, but it didn't look great. So I was like, nah, I'm not doing that.
No Italians in Minnesota.
Yeah. I was like, So I just ate at this restaurant right over here. Of course, I made friends with a couple at the bar. I mean, what else is new?
What time are they coming to the room?
I'm actually meeting them in a half an hour.
Nice. Is your room the one with the pineapple outside?
No,
No, don't lie to me. Are you really meeting them in a half hour?
no, what are you, fucking insane?
Why? Well, no,
Oh, we're insane.
the way you said it didn't sound like they were coming to your room. It made it sound like you were gonna go like get a drink with them or something.
No. Actually, the guy's from Hempstead, Long Island. They're older. They're older couple. My
You
face.
say
As
that
old
like
as
that's
the
not
old
more
woman?
likely that you're gonna sleep with them because
Right.
they're older.
Anyway,
So, are you Facebook friends with them?
no, I'm actually not. Can you believe it?
I don't
TikTok.
believe you.
I'm like, Janine, don't come on too strong right now.
Yeah, you got to close that deal.
So they would. I said, "What is Minnesota known for?" So they started talking. I said, "What about food?" But they said they didn't really have anything that they're known for. Just a fish called walleye,
Pike, walleye pike.
but that's it. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, they're right on one of the Great Lakes. It should be some kind of fish.
That's true. Never thought. There's no Minnesota cuisine, is there?
No, not.
I would imagine they have probably good beef up there.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure they have a lot of farms.
I don't know, but they said, they said now you could tell your friends you met some really nice Minnesotians. And I said to the guy, well, you're from Long Island, so you canceled yourself out. So he started laughing at me.
Okay, I just Googled Minnesota food that they're known for. And they have something called wild rice, which is not actually rice at all, but grass seed. It's a Minnesota state grain. It's their state grain. They cook with it a lot, and it's made in soups and stuff. So while you're out there, try the wild rice.
Sounds gross.
It does sound gross.
Little wale for the table. It'd be nice. That
Did you
actually
order
makes
something
sense.
for the table for them?
I think I've heard that wale or whatever. I don't know how you say it, but I've seen that.
Walleye.
before. Walleye, is that it?
Yeah, it's just like it's spelled walleye.
Sounds better than fucking grass seed or whatever the hell you were just talking about. That sounds disgusting.
All I did was Google food that Minnesota is known for, and that's the first thing that came up.
Just the hockey came up. What food is Minnesota known for? Hockey.
Hockey did.
Okay, here you go. Here you go. It says 14 best Minnesota foods you need to try.
Go ahead.
You got Swedish meatballs is number 1 for some reason.
Mm.
Wild rice is number 2. Polish sausage.
I'll give you some.
And something called Juicy Lucy.
I think I just met her.
dare you. I dare you to go to a restaurant and ask for that.
I dated her in high school.
I'll definitely ask for that tomorrow.
She sucked. This I could see. Okay, this makes sense. Cheese curds.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, so close to Canada. I mean, they're basically our Canada.
Then there's pho. Or po, however you pronounce that, Pho.
Pho.
Pho. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Then there's I have to click the thing for the full list. Is that right?
Oh, Jesus.
Sweet corn
Okay.
apparently is a big deal there. Walleye is number 7. Sweet corn is number 8. Blueberry pie is big there. Honeycrisp apples are big
Blueberry
there.
pie is big everywhere. I mean, that seems a little.
Wild rice soup, cream of mushroom soup,
Basically-
porchetta sandwich is a big thing there.
Oh, what?
And number 14 is porchetta sandwich. It's just the pork. And then the last thing is tater tot hot dish.
What's that?
It looks like it from the picture. It looks like shepherd's pie, but instead of mashed potatoes, it's just tater tots on top of it.
Yeah, that sounds like some Midwest shit. Like, let's just put like beans on top of Fritos and milk cheese, and yeah, that seems like the kind of
That's
thing
what
they're doing.
That's what it looks like. But those are the top 14. So have fun.
All right.
That wild rice and the walleye
Well,
seems to be a big deal.
I have to say, so tomorrow is the conference, right? It's all day. And then tomorrow night, we're going to a dinner theater.
Yeah.
Dinner theater. I cannot wait to see how this is going to be here.
It's medieval times, you know that, right?
No, it's not.
That'd be awesome.
Especially with the kind of food that, I don't know, the kind of food they serve. But luckily, there is a Chipotle right over here and something called Burger. It's right in this parking lot over here.
Okay, see, try Burger. Don't go to Chipotle. I don't know.
Would not go to Chipotle. No.
Try Burger. See, if you can't get it here,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
a restaurant that it's not over here, then give it a shot. What the hell?
There's a place called Caribou Coffee. It's like their Starbucks, but it's from Minnesota.
Yes, I've heard of Caribou.
So there is one right here. I'm going to try that tomorrow.
I'd like a full review. All right. Can we get a full video review of the coffee or some photos? Give me some. Let's get some stuff for the member area. Can you send some stuff over?
Some dishes that you're trying, stuff like that.
Oh, I took a picture of I had something really good tonight.
All right, we'll put it in the members area.
Yeah.
Don't say any more. It's really good.
What was that thing we tried? Those pretzels? Was that from Minnesota? Remember those pretzels you shipped out to us?
The pretzels that were making us thirsty?
Maybe.
I have a confession to make about those pretzels.
I forget
those 3 bags that you sent to us. One was
Dots.
honey
Dots.
Was that
Might
Minnesota?
have been. I'll look it up.
I have a confession to make.
Go ahead. It was terrible. You hated them?
I've bought probably a bag every 2 weeks since I tried them.
Oh my God, are you for real?
I love them. That is my snack.
They were really good. I did like them too.
Terrible.
I eat between the original and the Southwestern one.
What was the third one?
Honey mustard.
I like the Southwestern one. Was really good. That was my favorite.
So I do buy them all the time, and it's like you're obsessed with them, and I'm like, but you cannot stop eating them, and they're so salty.
I know they're very good. I like them.
Dots is from the North Dakota, so close enough.
All right.
It's all the same.
Aaron says, "Juicy Lucy dinner theater."
Oh,
that could be good.
I don't know, but I have to get going because I have a big day tomorrow. Just kidding.
You're going to meet those people.
I'm going to text with my friend, and by the way, her name was Mary Jane, which is fucking fitting. I'm sorry.
How many people are you with? How many people are
part of the conference?
I only saw 2 so far. We don't. Today was like a day, like, just do whatever you want, and then tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is it all happening in that hotel that you're in?
No, we're actually going to the main office.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
How far is that from where you are?
About 10 minutes.
All right. So it's not like a conference where like there's gonna be like 400 people in the main room. It's not like that.
No.
Got it.
Are you buried in snow out there, or is it not bad?
It really isn't bad.
Is there some snow on the ground?
Hold on. Oh my God, my back.
Is that TV from 2002? Because it looks like it. That's pretty
art
thick.
on the wall. There's no art on that wall. It's just a big blank wall.
Let's see. Can you see?
Right.
Holy shit, that's a lot of snow.
No, it's not that much. And actually, it's snowing right now. Can you see?
Yes.
That's lovely. I miss that. I wish we had some of that here.
Me too.
Not a lot, but some of it.
And you can see it says My Burger across the street. So that's how close I am.
That I can't see.
Oh. All right. Well, it's not that much snow anyway.
But you don't have a car. You don't have a car there.
No.
See, that's
Ubering
terrifying.
everywhere.
That's terrifying to me.
Why?
What do you have? Like, what's in your room right now? Do you have coffee? Do you have waters? Like, do you have some snacks?
I have a Keurig. I just had to go downstairs for a water.
Oh no.
Which to me, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like. I need to get some stuff in the room. I need to have waters and iced teas and
Right.
See, when I travel, Erin packs me Snapples and stuff.
Well, I'm sure she does.
She should just have you pure sugar.
Yeah, that's why
It's
Frank
similar
travels
to-
with 16 carry-ons to carry all his fucking Snapple.
It's just you open the bag, it's just a row of Snapples.
Is there like a, because I see, here's the thing. This is a weird, if I don't, like, I need to be able to get food nearby. Like if there's,
Well,
if
place, there is. That's why I was like, okay, because there is the coffee place, there's this restaurant, there's like 2 or 3 other food places here too. Like, I wouldn't say fast food, but there's a Chipotle, a burger place, and 2 sandwich places.
Are you
That's a lot. That's
tired?
good.
Because like my worst nightmare is having no food, being wide awake in a hotel room somewhere I don't know.
Is that I am tired.
It's your worst nightmare.
That's my worst nightmare. It being like 1 o'clock in the
Dramatic.
morning. I'm not asleep yet, and I'm just like I don't watching you watching like TNT because there's fucking
Well,
nothing else.
Well, I'm
Here's a
definitely going to be watching King of Queens. So
Wait, are you like your brother? Did you immediately order the 24-hour porn package and blast it at the top
no,
volume?
he did not do that.
Oh, you
No,
did.
he would never do that.
No, but these places that are around, I can't imagine they're open are they open
No.
late or no? Everything's closing up by now.
The restaurants open later, but the other places were open till 8 and 9 o'clock.
All right. So,
And
And
so
it's-
you're going to dinner theater tomorrow,
Yeah,
and then when do you fly back? Sunday or Monday?
Sunday. No, Sunday.
Oh, so you only have one night.
Yeah,
Unless
there's a snowstorm. Darn. Sorry, Mom.
yeah, that's it. Why not take a day? Spend a day sightseeing or whatever the hell's around in Minnesota.
To tell you the truth, I rather sightsee.
Are you in or around Minneapolis?
Yes,
You're in
I'm like-
Minneapolis.
just south of it, I think.
Oh, okay.
And you didn't sightsee, like the sightseeing you did was the Mall of America?
Yeah, there's really. I don't know if there's much though.
Well, Google it. What are the sites in Minnesota? Bullet Twine.
What time is your flight on? What time is your flight on Sunday?
9 a.m.
Oh shit!
I know.
That sucks.
Minnesota Wild game at 1 o'clock. I was gonna say.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, go to the game.
Ooh.
That'd be exciting.
Yeah, but that means you'd have to stay another day probably, or leave that night.
You'll leave that night.
No, there's no flights after that. so if I don't make it, then I really don't make it.
All right.
All right.
And let us know how everything goes.
Yes, I want pictures and I want videos. I'd love a video review of the coffee. I think that'd be exciting for people.
And whatever,
right.
if you try something, Minnesota, one of the big things that Minnesota is known for, the wild rice, the tater tot thing, whatever you can find, Minnesota, then let us know what it was like.
All
The
right.
walleye, if you can find place that serves walleye.
All right, there you go. Sign up for the members area to see part of JSab's journey. And if you have one of those hotel room key parties, send some pictures. I know there's some members that'll love that.
Right.
Oh, it's only some.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
There goes JSabs, everybody.
Almost.
When we need her to leave, she fucking sticks
I
around.
know. I was trying to do some. Bye.
All right.
Bye. And it's earlier for her there. She's an hour behind us. It's only
Oh, that's
9:45
true.
there.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not gonna lie to you, that would drive me crazy just to be in that room with nothing to do.
Oh, it's you go out. See, I would like a room. Well, that's the other thing. Like if the place has a pool or something, indoor pool.
Yeah,
But
you
they
need
never open that late.
something to do though. I feel like go down and get drunk at the bar. I don't know. To be in a weird place by yourself was just nothing. Again, like I would be just terrified. I'd be up and just like, fuck.
That's why you sign into the Wi-Fi. You throw on Netflix. You bring a computer. You watch some movies or TV shows or something.
Yeah, I guess so.
You got to bring that stuff with you.
I was at a hotel. We went upstate once, and they're like, "Oh, you got Netflix on the thing," and I'm like, "How does that work?" So I go into Netflix, and they're like, "You want to sign in?" And I'm like, "Am I gonna sign in on my Netflix? Now I gotta remember to sign out." Like,
That's the thing. You got to sign out.
yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Yep. What's Lutefisk? Aaron says lutefisk is the thing, is a food in
that was the
Minnesota.
defenseman for the Wild.
That could be.
Yeah,
He's good this year.
killer slap shot. Really gonna help the power play.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. They probably have all sorts of weird fucking pond, like lake fish over there.
I'm sure it's fish. I could see fish being a big thing over there. They're right on one of the Great Lakes.
Isn't that where Grumpy Old Men was in Minnesota, Wabasha County? Is that Minnesota?
That could be. I don't know.
I think so.
Do not know Wabasha.
I think that's really it. Alec Baldwin screaming at a photographer on the street like a fucking crazy person. Did you see this?
Classic Alec Baldwin.
I mean, the guy's just fucking lost his mind. He entered a not guilty plea and he can't drink any alcohol or own a gun, which I found to be funny. I'm going to play this on my phone, but here's him coming out of a hotel room.
Hello, Mr. Baldwin. Bring my way. Sorry, sir. Out of my way. Sorry. Out of his way. No, it's the other car, Alec.
So he screams at a photographer who's in his way, and it turns out he was going into the wrong car.
Well, that's
Fucking asshole. Did you hear him? Out of my way.
in my way.
Like a fucking crazy person.
Whatever happened?
No, it's the other car. Hello, Mr. Baldwin. Bring my way. Sorry, sir. Out of my way. Sorry. Out of his way. No, it's the other car, Alec.
I don't know who this fucking guy is.
Whatever happened to
The screen, the video I'm playing. Oh, it says it's from the Daily Mail. Then it also is from Hilaria Baldwin Reddit. I don't fucking know. But
I don't know. But he's always
I'll put the link in the thing.
that way to paparazzi.
I mean, he's getting batshit crazy. You just think about how nuts she is, and I just feel like he's just cooped up with that fucking crazy woman, and
Is
he's
she
just getting
nuts?
crazier. Oh, she's fucking crazy.
I don't know anything about her.
She's fucking crazy. She's beyond crazy. I felt bad for them. Honestly, I felt bad for them for a while because around here, there's always a story of them getting harassed by the media. And usually out here in the Hamptons, you don't find that a lot. They don't really come out here and take some of those candid shots. There's always kind of been this unwritten rule. They let them alone out here. Not to say that it doesn't happen, but it doesn't happen as often as it does in Manhattan, But they were going to sell their place here. They bought a farm, and I don't know where they're living now anyway. But I felt bad for her. But then if you go and you look at the videos, the amount of times that she's like made a public appearance to ask people to leave them alone, it's fucking ludicrous. Like, and it's just like if you just went away, you wouldn't have any problems. But she specifically like goes into these media hordes and addresses them and basically says, "I'm talking to you to tell you that I'm not talking to you." It's like, no, you're fucking talking to them. Just don't talk to them is not talking to them.
Yeah.
She's batshit crazy.
Okay. I mean, maybe it gets to the point where ignoring them doesn't work because they're just constantly there. So
Let's not
she felt she needed to make a statement.
Don't forget, you talk about racial insensitivity. She went around speaking with a Spanish accent, telling everybody she was fucking Spanish. She's from fucking Boston.
Well, is she Spanish though?
No.
She could be from Boston and still have an accent.
No, but she had like a Spanish accent from Spain, acting like she came from Spain, and she's fucking from Boston.
I don't know.
It doesn't get
Again,
whiter
I don't
than
know
that,
anything about
Frank.
That's fucked up.
She's
know anything
fucking
about
crazy. Yeah, that was the Alec Baldwin thing. I love him. I'm a huge fan. I think he's just fucking crazy. Joe Exotic, they say he's got cancer, and he's not taking any treatment.
Well, that's something. What kind of cancer?
His doctor suspects he has bladder cancer, and he's refusing treatment in prison.
Yikes.
Yeah, not a great situation there.
Nope.
What's kind of weird, though, is he so reminds me of the pandemic now, and I'm kind of like, I don't think he would come out and have a high quality of life regardless. So it's like, I totally understand this move he's making of being like, I'm just going to just leave me alone and die in here. Yeah, write this out. That's really it. Yoko apparently moved out of the Dakota. That made me a little sad.
Really? I'm weird. Why?
I don't know. She's like going to live in a farm upstate that she purchased with John. I just feel
There you
like
go.
the Dakota, John and her, it was always kind of like that New York City vibe.
Imagine who owns it. Like who having that piece of history.
Yeah, it didn't. I don't know if they're actually selling it. But she's just moved out of there.
Oh, okay. Well, she's okay. So if she still owns it, and she's just living in a different place, that's
Yeah.
she has her other property or whatever. That's nothing.
Manhattan is the thing. I was there for the podcast conference tonight. It is a fucking. It's crazy. I thought like because it's President's Week, it would be like easy to get into the city. There wouldn't be too many people there.
No,
It-
it's still a madhouse.
It was
It's a
jumping.
weekday.
Yeah, it
of
was
course. And where were you? You probably in Midtown.
Midtown. Yeah, Times Square.
It's gonna be nuts.
Times Square. Yeah.
It's gonna
I
be crazy no matter what.
I did this podcast talk. It was good. I like doing stuff like that. You give back to the young people. You know what I didn't know? So I get in the room. I did it with Seth Everett, who does like a comic book podcast and a sports podcast. This girl, Lizzie, who runs podcasts for Odyssey, which is one of the big like radio companies. And so there's, crowd and everything. And the moderator comes up and she's like, I'm moderating the thing. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, so she starts the thing and she's introducing us. She's like, how many college students are here? And a lot of people raise their hands, but like half the people don't raise their hands. I'm like, what is going on here? She's like, how many high schoolers are here? And the rest of the people raise their hands. I was like, oh my God, you people are in high school?
Wow.
It was kind of crazy. And I said, listen, I legally can't be in a room with high school people, so I have to go.
Did you say that?
Part of the restraining order.
You're an ass.
It was a little hard to get a laugh in that room. Like when I got there, I was like so excited to be there, and I was like, the moderator's like, say a little something up front. I'm like, I don't even know how long. I got no information. I don't know how long this is. Where are we talking about? And Seth is a funny guy. He's like, listen, I've been doing this for 30 years. He's like, let's keep these intros pretty short, okay? He's like, no fucking running. And I'm like, all right, that's fine with me.
He's been doing a podcast for 30 years.
And he's been in like radio for 30 years.
All right. I was gonna say that's
Yeah.
impossible.
He's like, let's keep this to just a podcast. I was like, okay. I was like, you don't have to worry about me. I'm just asking. I don't know how much time we need to fill or what we need to do here. But it was funny because then like the moderator, like she kept like trying to move along the conversation. And I'm like, you have 3 hosts right here. Like you can go kick back and have a coffee. Like I can move it around. We could all move it around the room and fucking take questions and shit like that,
Right.
But yeah, people had some interesting questions. And it's funny to see like the youth of America, like asking questions about podcasting.
Anything particularly interesting?
Yeah, I mean, they had their equipment and how you build an audience and all that kind of jazz, like all those questions. But I told them, I said to them, I go, look, it's funny. The thing starts and I go, you people are the smartest people here. I'm like, you came to this. This is where it's at. And they're like, I'm like, has nobody ever said that to you before? Because the room was like dead silent.
Well,
and the guy in the front was like, nobody's ever said that to me before. I'm like, all right, well, now you heard it. Now you know.
Yeah. All right, well, good for you. You gave back a little bit today. That was nice.
Some girl, as I'm walking in, I hear this girl go over to her friends, go, you want to go to the podcast thing? And she's like, yeah, that's dumb, right? And I was like, I almost said,
Hey.
You're dumb,
Yeah, I'm right here.
And she never did. And I honestly felt like, fuck that girl, go ahead, stick with the radio side of things. There's real big growth there. That's really where you want to fucking be in this business.
Hey, don't.
I'm just saying, I know.
Diminish my medium here.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Anyway, it was a good thing that you and Janine didn't go because it would have been like a 16 people panel then. There would have been, there would have been no fucking.
Instead, it was a 14 people panel.
Yeah. And then this lady came out to me. She was so nice. She was like, I'm part of the radio thing down in this college in North Carolina. She's like, will you come and do a talk like over Zoom with them?
Oh, Zoom. Okay.
Yeah. And I go, yeah.
Better.
She's like, how much do I have to pay you? I'm like, you don't have to pay me anything. I go, what kind of food you got down there?
How much you got?
You could FedEx me up like one of those, one of the dishes that are big in your area. I'll take that. I was like, but I don't want.
Give me some walleye.
You got wild rice down there? What are you guys doing? But so I'm gonna do that. I thought that'll be a fun thing. Maybe I'll film that and throw that in the members only area.
Just tell them to watch the show. They'll learn everything they need to know.
It's kind of true. We could just have them on the show. I don't think it's for everybody, but if people wanted to know a little bit more about our behind the scenes, I would answer those questions for like those kids down there. Because it's funny, they don't really know what to do. Like nobody really knows what to do.
I mean, I feel like it's there. Yeah, I could see how there are some people who are like, I don't know. Yeah, but if you don't have a focus, you have to have some sort of purpose for what you're doing.
Yeah.
You have to be consistent, and you have to know what you're talking about for the most part, and you have to be somewhat entertaining. So, I mean, if you just go on with no, you also have to spread the word in a good way. You can't just think people are going to find you.
It's a hard question to ask. Like I had this young lady come up to me. She goes, I'm a young African-American woman. I love movies, and my podcast is about, the perspective of a young African-American woman in film, and who the other African-American women are in film and what they're doing. And I'm like, that's wonderfully interesting. I'm like, how many other people? I go, if I had to guess, there's 14 other people doing what you're doing. How are you standing out? Like, what are you saying different? Who's the biggest person in your space? How are you covering things that they're not? Got to have that unique perspective. And it's hard to tell people that, because the sad fact is most of them don't have it. But there is always that hope that a bunch of them do. And you got to kind of give everybody that hope, with the hope that a couple of them that really can take it and run with it will take it and run with it.
Right.
So,
well, here's to the future.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of
good luck.
Hope for it, but it was nice to be in that room with those people today. It does reinvigorate me a little bit to see people that are hungry to do these things. Like,
Yeah, it's encouraging. It's a nice thing when when what you're doing.
Fucking DJ Shenanigan is on fire. Ant, did you tell him never to ship anything to the UK? I failed to mention that, but I should have.
That'll keep you out of the black.
Yeah,
that'll put you right in the red if you do that.
We lost $300 that month.
That was a bad month. Don't. Yeah.
Our financial people were like, "What the fuck happened here?" I go, "The same thing." England, I don't know.
Gambling losses. It wasn't as bad. The same thing set us back. That was rough.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine Janine though in that room, being like, "This cocksucker over here," Oh my god. Oh my god.
You would have been embarrassed by Janine. That's not nice.
Oh, it would have been. We would have been in the HR department I'd be like, I didn't know conferences had an HR department. This is crazy.
They do now.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, that's it for that.
Become a member, people.
Become a member. Good, Frankie. So you take it. You're good at this stuff.
Become a member. It's easy. You got the join button down below. It's a beautiful thing.
Show me potato salad.
Click it. Join now. Do it.
Maybe we should go now.